Come.
So, I guess technically that's kind of like what this is. Speaking of Minecraft, that fucking Minecraft movie trailer was interesting. Okay, this is a little bit better loot for Treasure Hunter. The other one was terrible. This one's not bad. Not good, but it's better. It's pretty good. Yeah, that Minecraft trailer was really something. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. And then I saw the fucking, I think it's a Kotaku article. It's Kotaku, but they're like, oh, this game isn't for you. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, you're probably right. You know, it probably is meant for kids, but you gotta also understand, like, even kids' movies make money off some adults who want to see it, you know? So, I mean, I hope it... I want it to be good, and I want it to do well, because I'm not gonna watch it anyways. So I want it to do well as a movie. But it just doesn't look great. Just, it looks bad. Just, like, excluding the fucking... the looks of, like, you know... Like, I'm sorry, Jack Black is not a good Steve. I don't know I don't know what soul he sold to get Steve. But... I don't think he looks good as Steve. But even then, like, I digress. Like, that's not the point, though. It just doesn't look good. The looks of the movie look bad. I don't know. It's fine. I don't watch movies a whole lot anyways, so I'm like, I'm not gonna rate on anyone's parade. If kids love it, I hope they do. You know, I'm always for more content for kids to have fun with. It just, I don't think even kids are gonna like it. Yeah, the beard doesn't look good. They should have at least have him, like, dye it brown or something, you know, so it matches the character. The fact that they let him keep it white just makes no sense to me. And then they introduced that weird-ass fucking crafting recipe that Jason Momoa did. I think this is his name, right? Jason Momoa? I don't know names. And everyone's, like, clowning on it for not being, like, anything that makes sense. And I'm like, it's still a kid's movie, but, like, I feel like even there's gonna be some kids that are like, what the fuck is that? So they better add that shit to the game. I want buckets on chains. And told him to be himself, basically. They're like, hey, here's $100 million. Now wear this and speak English.
You're not alone.
Thank you. It's like, okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a cynical old man now. Maybe that's the issue. I feel like it would have been better as an I just feel like there's so many other, like, these game movies would just be so much better as animated movies. Am I wrong for thinking that? Like, I just don't think that it looks good live action. It just looks bad. Yeah, like, I think Mario and Sonic did it okay. Like, I think it looks fine. But, like, the characters, although it's live action, at least look like, you know, cartoonish. It's just, it's like, the Sonic movie and the Minecraft movie are both for kids. But one looks like it actually has people who cares. And the other one looks like nobody, like, it just looks like they just, like, paid $1 million, like, 10, like, 1,000, or not, sorry, Jesus. One looks like it has people who care about making the content. And the other one looks like they spent $1 billion on the rights to make a movie and were like, fuck, we actually have to make a movie now. So then they did this. Yeah, and no Alex. I didn't watch Into the Spider-Verse. Like I said, I'm not a huge movie guy. It just, you know, it looks odd. Like, I'm not saying, I'm not gonna, like, I don't comment on the intricacies of storytelling because, you know, I'm not very into it, but, like, you know, I don't have to be, like, I don't have to be a doctor to know when, like, someone has a broken leg. Like, hey, you know, your leg doesn't bend this way, maybe you should go to a hospital. Like, I don't have to be a doctor for that. I can kind of just say it looks like you broke your leg. What, are you gonna yell at me for not being a doctor? What's happening? Like, no, it looks bad. It looks objectively terrible. Even if it's not for me, it just, I don't know if kids will like this. But I do think the Sonic movie will be kind of cool. Especially after they got bullied into changing what Sonic looked like. That was also really funny, no offense. The old Sonic was bad. It's literally like the Minecraft movie makers like saw the old Sonic and they were like, that's it. That's what we're gonna make our animals look like. And then just didn't pay attention to anything else. Yeah, I think Shadow looks good. I think it all looks good. I like it. I think Jim Carrey is also a pretty good Dr. Eggman, to be fair. It just seems like there's two groups of people right now in like media content making. There's like the ones that love what they do and are trying to make the best possible content they can. And then there are the people who like have billionaires backing them who just get unlimited IPs and do whatever like they just make shit to make shit. Which kind of sucks. We'll see how media content creation goes. I'm wondering if, and this might not be possible because I feel like movie making is a lot more expensive. Gaming is gonna go the way of movies. Sorry, reverse that. Jesus, my brain is broken. Movies will go the way of games. We have a lot more indie games coming out, it feels like, than ever before. And I am wondering if we're gonna see like that with movies too. I'm just wondering if the fiscal side of it is doable. Because the thing is, right, movie making requires props, you know, the ability to actually have places to record, as well as needing multiple actors. Whereas in game development, although certain times you will need, you know, maybe other people. Like if you're gonna have voice acting within your game, you may need other people. But in general, you can solo make your own game. If you're not gonna have voice acting or anything like that, you can make the art, you can make everything yourself. Because gaming has started getting a lot of indie companies making games and singular individuals making games, I'm wondering if movie people and people who like movies are going to start making their own indie movies. The one main issue, well, there's two main issues if that's a possibility. Number one is the props and actors, right? In a movie, you need actors. You need more than one person. You can't really solo make a movie unless you're like Eddie Murphy and you're playing every role. But outside of that, oh, fuck you. You kind of need multiple actors, which would mean you have to pay multiple people unless they all love the idea of the movie and it's a passion project. And then outside of that, you then, even if you can get all the props and all the actors and actresses, you then also need a place for the movie to make money. And, you know, this might be a hot topic or a hot take, but, I mean, there aren't many places for people to make money on their movie unless they get deals from, like, Netflix or some shit. Or from any streaming company, especially today. And, you know, 80% of people are not going to get a fucking movie deal with a movie theater. That's for damn sure. So, like, I don't even know why I said 80. Like, 99% of people aren't going to get their movies in movie theaters. So, it's like, what's going to happen to the movie industry then? Because gaming has an outlet, right? We have all the different gaming stores, like Epic Store, Valve with Steam. You know, you've got the Battle.net, which granted, I don't know how many games they sell on there. It's not, I don't think it's nearly as much. But you have like a range of like actual clients to use and like different places to sell your game. I think the main two are Epic Games and Steam. But even still, I'm wondering if there's gonna be if there's a possibility of having something similar to video games for movies, where you're gonna actually have like people who make movies and, you know, start their own indie movie companies. Like actually consistently, by the way. I know there are like instances where people have like passion projects, but I can list a million different, you know, games that are indie games that have popped off excessively or by smaller companies. Movies wise, especially today, is like most movies that come out today are from some of the biggest, you know, some of the biggest companies in the world. So you're not going to see that nearly as much. But, you know, I could be wrong. Maybe there'll be a way. Maybe someone will release like a Steam-esque system where like, you know, for $10 a month, you get to watch indie movies any indie movie on the platform, and, you know, any indie companies who want their movie on the platform can do so. Maybe that'll be like a big thing that happens at some point, which would be kind of cool in my opinion. That'd actually be really sick if they could. Obviously, I don't know if the logistics would make that possible, but it'd be kind of cool if they did. It seems like there are just so many movies that hire, like, 2 really big fucking names, and then they give $10 to the people who are actually, like, designing and, like, writing and getting the props for the movie, and they're like, here, good luck, chumps. And it's like, guys, just because you have Jack Black in your movie and Jason Momoa in your movie does not mean the movie's gonna be good. I mean, I guess I can talk about, like, Concord. That'd be kind of funny. I know it's, like, I shouldn't say old news, but it is old news. It's already ending. Concord's already closing down. It's so fucking good. Listen, man, I'm not even, like, huge into... Like, listen, I'm sorry. The idea that you're gonna release a $40 hero shooter game and compete with all the other free-to-game hero shooter games and make the hero shooter game worse than the current ones on the market, and you think you're gonna compete? What's up? So I saw gameplay of Concord. It looked shit. It looks just as bad as, like... I shouldn't say just as bad. It just doesn't look good. Like... It looks slow. It looked boring. Why would I want to play it? And it's 40 bucks. The fuck? What are we doing here? The only, like, multiplayer game that is worth any amount of money anymore that, like, people buy still is COD. And even then, that's, like, a weird thing to do. Like, Valorant, Overwatch, Apex... PUBG, CSGO. I'm just listing a bunch of FPSs. They're all free to play. Spectre's Divide. So the new, the new game from, like, I think Shroud had input on it or some shit. I don't know what happened directly, but, you know, that game is free to play. Like, every game nowadays, especially FPS, are free to play because they know that it's much easier to get people to play a multiplayer game if it's free, and then, you know, they might be willing to spend $5 here or there, which is way more lucrative than forcing someone to spend $40 on a game that they probably don't want and might return if they don't like. You know? There's almost no loss in revenue if someone plays it and doesn't like it, but there's also a potential for unlimited revenue gain for someone who really does like it. So I don't know why they fucking thought 40 bucks was a good point. And they spent 8 years on it? Like, that's wild. Like, it's been the making since 2016? You saw Overwatch 1 release, and you were like, oh, that looks good, we should try that. And then through the course of 8 years, you haven't watched Overwatch go to Overwatch 2 and all this other shit, and you're like, we're gonna do the same fucking thing anyways. Like, what are we talking about here? What the fuck is happening? Like, now you're billions of, I think it was like it was several millions of dollars. I think it was close to $1 billion, wasn't it? Am I crazy? Maybe it wasn't close to $1 billion, but it was worth a lot of money, I thought. It just looks bad. It's just crazy to me how you put all that money into it and it just fucking closes like a week later. Like, that's wild to me. Like, I'm sorry, but the fact that Sony was behind it too just makes me really sad. Because I don't know how you fuck up a release of that game again. Oh my god, oh my lord, oh my lord, oh my lord. Okay, I don't know how you fuck up a game that bad. Genuinely. Like, the only other ones that come to mind of recent time is like Dustborn. That was just like a shit game in general. Like, that one was just gonna be bad no matter what you say. Golem. And it's just crazy and highly disappointing that a company like Sony could create a game that is so ass that they closed down the servers in like a week. And odds are we'll never see the light of day again. It just doesn't look good. I'm not even gonna get into the political aspect of it, because I don't really give a fuck about the political aspect of it. It just looked bad. It just looked like a bad game. Why the fuck would I want to play a bad game in general? I find it, every day, I've come to the realization that it's just better to play games by smaller companies. Like, either that or just play like a free-to-play game that you find that you really like. That way you don't have to, you know, if you spend some money on it, you spend some money on it. Because it's just crazy to me how bad some of these games are. I do not understand the thought processes of some of these people who make video games and somehow fuck it up so bad that nobody wants to play your game. Especially when you're owned by fucking Sony, for Christ's sake. Like, I'm not even trying to, like, say game development is easy. I know it's not. Like, I know it takes a lot of skill, time, and effort. But, like, I just look at the game, and I'm like, there's no way that, like, people who are experienced with game development saw what they said, like, what these people, like, proposed. And there's no way that there wasn't one person who was like, yeah, this is a bad idea. There's no way there isn't a single human being alive who saw what Concord was, or like what Dustborn looked like, and were like, or Golem even, and were like, this may not be the best solution. You know, maybe we shouldn't release this, or maybe we should change some things. No, we're just gonna make the worst fucking game of all time. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. I don't know, man. Considering there are literal games called Do Nothing where you do nothing and there's a timer that counts up for how long you've done nothing. Considering there are games like that that have higher ratings than Dustborn and Concord. Like, we need to talk about who we're hiring as game devs, because what the fuck? That just isn't good. I mean, I wasn't even in the market for a new FPS anyways, because I already have fucking Valorant and Overwatch. I don't need Concord. I don't need another one. And I think that's kind of one of the biggest reasons why I failed. Like, I'm sorry, but if the beta showed that people didn't like your game, and then you still release it without making tons of changes, especially in a market where there's not a ton, or where there's already like tons of FPS like playing like games, like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you expected. Like, you know you're not gonna steal the Overwatch fan base. Like, no, the Overwatch fan base never leaves Overwatch. What are we talking about here? Like, bro, 90% of the Overwatch fan base has been making content on Overwatch since before Overwatch 2. So it's like, if they didn't leave Overwatch 1 when they switched to Overwatch 2, they're never gonna leave Overwatch. Like, they're gonna die making Overwatch content. So off rip, like, you're not gonna steal them. What, you're gonna steal from the Valorant audience? Really? You think you're gonna steal from Valorant? Yeah, no. Valorant players love the game. For the most part. I shouldn't say love. Maybe love's not the right word. We're addicted to it. And not only that, but like, Valorant has characters that are very lovable. I don't think Concord does. The characters look very stupid and bleak and just not interesting.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
So it's like, if you're gonna make non-interesting, bleak characters, I got some bad news for you. You may not get a lot of players. Sorry, I was annoyed. Anyways. But yeah. So it's like, you have shitty characters, you have very mid, you know, games, like, you know, game playing potential. You know, the gameplay is very bad. Nothing's good about the game. Like, what What is good about Concord that is better than Overwatch, that is better than Valorant? Because it has to be better, because you have to steal their players. So it has to be better. What's better? Nothing? Okay, well then why am I leaving?